Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Seem to have shrunk slightly. 1 minute. No, we don't want to get closer. I've got more chins than a Chinese phone book. Right, here we go. That's better. I'm announcing my entry. Dun, da, 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 da. Best I could do at short notice. Into Charlie Mack and Daniel's egg-plane group build. Sorry, thought for once, turn the computer sound off. So that's Charlie Mack and Daniel from Munchkin Modelling Man. 76, 72, I can't exactly remember, but that every year they host an egg-plane group build. If there probably isn't many that don't know what an egg-plane is. Basically, it's like a cartoonish type of aircraft, more or less egg-shaped. Now, I've really enjoyed over the last 4 or 5 years that the guys have been running it, looking at everybody else's builds. But it's not something that I've really had a massive interest in. I hold my hands up. I've got to say I prefer the real model aircraft than the egg-shaped ones. And to be honest with you, financial resources and space to even store these kits, you know, it all comes into it. I just don't have a big feel for it. I just enjoy watching you guys. But this year, the fellas have come up with, they want to do again, just a nod towards what's happening in Ukraine. They wanted to do a Ukrainian feel to it by saying, now you don't have to, but you can paint your whole aircraft or just small parts of your aircraft in the yellow and blue of the Ukrainian flag. Well, after doing my last 2 videos, last couple of videos on Ukraine, it's not something I could hardly not get into. But that's not the reason, actually. The reason I'm doing it is those 2 fellas could well have taken a hit on the build this year in numbers just because they're showing that sentiment. And there will be people out there again that will say you can't do that as a part of the hobby. As Charlie himself says, sometimes you just got to make a stand, and that's why I'm joining in, because I just thought, well, if somebody's dropping out, Gav, no matter how appallingly bad I make this, makes at least one number up for him. So that's why I'm doing it, guys. It's not, you'd think it would be the Ukrainian sentiment, which I wholeheartedly applaud you for, but it's actually because you guys put again your own group builds not at risk, but you know there's going to be people that aren't going to be happy about it. So Gav's in just to make any number. One person drops out, Gav's in. So if there's anybody out there that has never done, and I'm going to just show you the box in a minute. I'm not going to do an unboxing, but I'll do a video when the time comes. I believe it starts on the 1st of April and ends at the end of April. I hope I've got that right. But I'll put a link over to Charlie's video when he announces it. He did do a second video just saying, look, if you've read it wrong, you can still join. If you really don't want to do any bit of yellow and blue on there, that's up to you guys. You can still join the group build. But the sentiment this year, it's like a one-off. Guys feel strongly out there about it, and they just wanted to give that nod towards Ukraine. But if you've never done an egg-plane group build before, they're not very big. I'll just show you through the bag in a minute. So all my friends out there that haven't got airbrushes, that paint figures, maybe you might want to have a go on this. These are the one I got. Hang on, the one I got. Listen to Gav's tale of woe. When Charlie first announced it, I said, right, I'll go off and I'm probably going to be in, but let me go and see. I've never tried to go and buy an egg plane before. Let me see what's out there in the UK. Went onto eBay, put an order in from an eBay vendor for an F-18 Hornet, and it's never arrived. Now, the guy did, being fair to the guy, he's been absolutely lousy with his communication, but he did give it to his courier. I've got the tracking number, and it's never even got any farther than the first depot before it then gets moved on to the next depot and then on to me. It's gone from it's not our Royal Mail, it's gone from another courier, I believe. You don't really need to know all this, but just saying, it can only happen to Gav. Now it could have gone to Texas, because Mike from Mike Hintz's Miniature Motors, I know Mike, he's also doing an F-18 Hornet. Are you sure it's not mine, Mike? Yeah, it's just disappeared into the ether. It's either been nicked, stolen, and you don't know what nicked means, stolen or whatever. It's gone, and it ain't coming. And I've just actually sent him a thing saying, I've given it, was it, Lord knows how long, I want my money back now, please. Patience is gone. Anyway, so I've had to go out and spend yet more money on top of that to buy a second egg plane, which came, funny enough, 2 days later. So we've not got an F-18, we've got a T4, the Blue Impulse, which I believe might be a Japanese display team, and I would imagine that's the trainer, the T4. I don't believe it is actually. Quite like my jets. So I've got a T4, slightly battered box, but I'm happy with that. Now, what I'm now getting back to is that was £9.80. Now they can go up to £20 if you're getting it from a full model in supplier. Sometimes they're £20 plus another postage. This was, by the time I paid the postage, it cost me about £13. If you've never done an egg plane before, you don't get they all have these type of figures, these manga style figures. You don't get anything like that in there. You do get a little pilot with a giant head, and whatever plane you decide. They do World War II planes, jets, helicopters, all that type of stuff. Now what you do have to have though, it has to be a Hasegawa egg plane, right? Now, as I say, I got this from an eBay supplier for £9 plus the postage, so about 13 quid. It's not a huge hit. I'll just quickly show you. This is all for the guys that have never done one like me before. I must have realised how small they were. So sorry about the crinkly packaging, but it just shows it's still all in the package. But that's your roughly your size. See, little egg-shaped plane there. Very few parts to it. I'm not sure if these are snapped together or not, to be honest with you. But a bit of glue, or they might even snap together, I don't know really. Looking at the instructions, I never saw any gluing symbols on there, but you never know. So there's that. You get actually some really nice decals, which Hasegawa are quite good at. Unfortunately, I'm never going to be using mine. It's a shame really, because they're nice decals. Yeah, so if you haven't done an egg plane before, sorry for the crinkle again, have a think about it. They're not a huge amount of money. I'm thinking more to the guys that probably do figures out there and things that you might just want to step in on this one. Bit of fun. There's no standard required. It's just fun. That's how I do doing an egg plane. Obviously over the Easter time. So yeah, finally got one. It was touch and go. So yeah, that's going to put yet another build on the bench. So I've got bits of motorbike all over the bench at the moment. That's yet another build, but I did say I was getting in on it, and I'm in. If Charlie Mack sees this video, and if he hasn't skipped it, don't send me a token, Mara. They cost way too much to send them over to the UK. It's not worth the expense. I know I've done it. You know I've done it. Tokens are nice, but not for the money that it's going to cost to send something over to the UK. So don't worry about that. Let's just go with the fun and the honour of joining Charlie and Daniel's egg plane group build. Look after yourselves, and we'll see each other very soon. I'm quite sure on another video.